What's up, my guys? Welcome back to the third installment of that there retro report card. So as some of y'all know by now, how I keep this series going is I have the viewers, that's you beautiful people, comment your birthdays down in the comments below, and then what I'm gonna do is scroll through them, randomly pick on a birthday, and I'm gonna do a video on the first pay-per-view that aired after the day you were born. So for instance, on the last video, I landed on my guy OG Bobby Johnson, aka Bobby Knifehawk, aka Bust Down Bobby Yana. For those of y'all that don't know who he is actually an up-and-coming musician that just moved down to Houston. This is actually his music that I've got playing in the background. So if y'all want, go ahead and give my guy a follow here on Instagram and on SoundCloud. I mean, the dude's really solid at what he does. So, back to how this all works. Mr. Bobby was born way back in April 17th of 1992. So the first pay-per-view that aired after he's born was actually Summerslam of that year. And what a pay-per-view to do. I am excited. First off, in our opening act, you've got the legendary Legion of Doom tag team in action. Then throughout the pay-per-view, you've got a very young Shawn Michaels and a very young Undertaker in their respective matches. Then we get to the WWF title match. You've got the champ, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. He's defending against the Ultimate Warrior. And then going into this match, you had the speculation around which one of these guys betrayed who and paid Mr. Perfect to be in their corner. Not only that, you had a jealous, Ric Flair lurking because he thought he should have been in that match. And then we get to our main event. You got the British Bulldog. He's going for the Intercontinental Championship in front of all of his countrymen over there at Wembley Stadium in London. And his opponent in this match is none other than his brother-in-law. That's right, his wife's own brother, Bret, the Hitman Hart. So hey, without further ado, buckle up your seatbelts and let's get to grading. Now, like I done told you, our first match of the night, you got Legion of Doom in action. They're going up against Money Inc., who does have my guy Ted DiBiase in it. And for those of y'all that don't know, Legion of Doom was the tag team in the early 90s. I mean, this crowd was going crazy. So to start off, they were actually dominating this match until Hawk, he climbed up to the top rope and went for an avalanche clothesline, but he missed. And of course, that damn Ted DiBiase was there to take full advantage of the miscue. So they then went on to take over the match. Hawk went on to get destroyed for like the next 5 minutes. That was until he tagged in his guy Animal. And I'll tell you what, my guy Animal came in and started hitting anything that was moving. He then threw the $1 Million Man into his own partner before hitting a beautiful power slam to eventually get the 1, 2, 3 for his team. Now, if I'm going to sit there and grade that one, I'm going to give it a B-. Like, you really had the crowd into it, as well as like this was just a really solid match. And the ending gave the people what they want. Like my guy Excalibur says, you gotta give the people what they want. Hey, check the Angry Beaver's hat out, by the way. Next up on the night, you've got Virgil. He's taking on the 300-pound Nails. Y'all don't remember them? Yeah, me neither. Nails had just taken out Big Boss Man before this match, who is Virgil's good friend. So, of course, he came out with a vengeance. Surprisingly, a very quick start to the match with a lot of offense by both guys. But in typical WWE fashion, the ending was a big letdown, as Nails applied a sloppy sleeper hold and choked out Virgil, and I mean, that was the end of that. I'm going to let that one slide with a D+. Again, the action in the beginning of the match was really good. That ending was just weak. But I digress. Let's slide up into our next match. You got the Battle of the Pretty Boys. That's right. You got Rick, the model Martel. He's taking on a young and upcoming Shawn Michaels. And now in this match, they had a weird stipulation. They had a rule that said you couldn't hit or strike the other guy in the face. And y'all like to say that wrestling is weird and soft now? Get out of here with that. Anyway, Shawn Michaels comes down to the ring, and he doesn't come alone as he's got his girl Sherry with him. So we get the match going. Not only was Rick Martel kicking Shawn Michaels' ass, he hugged Sherry right in front of him. Like, talk about insult to injury, my guy. Now, after about 57 roll-ups and a shoving match, that no-hitting in the face rule was out the window, as these two just started going to town on each other. Outside of the ring, you had Sherry, who pulled off the worst, fakest, over-the-top feint that I have ever seen in my life. No wonder she didn't get into acting. So when she did that, Michaels and Martel both rolled outside of the ring, but they continued to pummel each other. Little did they know that the ref was back inside of the ring doing the 10 count. So yes, unfortunately, this match did end in a double count out. Now, if I'm going to grade that, I'm going to give it a C. Again, another really good match, just another god-awful finish. Like, here we are 30 years later, WWE still doing the exact same. Never mind, I'm not going to get into that. That'll be another video. Anyways, let's go into our next match. You got the tag team champs, the Natural Disasters, who came into this match at a combined weight of over 850 pounds. They're going up against the Brothers Beverly. That's right. Beginning of the match, you got the big boys. They're taking advantage. That was until Earthquake's big ass missed on a splash and crashed right into his teammate. This allowed the challengers to get in some offense. After Typhoon got beat down for what seemed like hours, he finally tagged in that big old bitch Earthquake, but the ref didn't see it, so he made Typhoon stay in the match. Of course, the Beverlys took full advantage of the ref's distraction, and they hit Typhoon over the head with like a metal scroll, I believe what it was. Now, my guy Earthquake had enough, because he came in, he hit him with a nasty elbow drop, then he went back out, tagged himself in, and he just started wrecking shop until he ultimately hit his finisher and got the 1-2-3 to retain their tag team titles. I'm going to go and give that one a C+. Like, that match was far better than I thought it was going to be. Now, don't forget, we still got the WWF title match coming up, and we still don't know whether it was the Macho Man or the Ultimate Warrior that paid off Mr. Perfect to come be in their corner. Plus, you got a pissed off Ric Flair walking around, wooing, doing God knows what. He's still mad because he's not in the match. But till we get there, we still got one more match. As you got crushed, he's taking on the Repo Man. Now, I know my guy Simon's happy about that because that's his boy, but sheesh, this man got pummeled for what seemed like a good 85% of this match. Now, just as the Repo Man was starting to get some momentum, he goes up to the top rope to attempt a splash, but Crush caught him mid-air and power slammed him all in one motion. Afterwards, he applied his head squeezing submission thingy, and he got the win over the Repo Man. Not gonna lie, I'm a little sad about my guy losing, but that's okay because I still gotta give it a grade. I'm gonna go with a C-. Again, this was a surprisingly entertaining match. The only thing about this one though is that you could tell that Crush was still green in the ring. But that's okay because next up we got the big WWF title match. That's right, you got the Macho Man, Randy Savage. He's defending the strap against the Ultimate Warrior. And you talk about a big match feel. This place was electric as the whole stadium was still speculating on not only what Mr. Perfect was going to do, but what Ric Flair was going to do as well. So before the match even starts, Randy Savage comes out. He goes to shake the Ultimate Warrior's hand, but all that led to was a shoving match between the two, and then we were off to the races. The Macho Man got the early upper hand thanks to 3 straight trips to the top rope, but on that third attempt, the Warrior caught him mid-air and hit Savage with a nasty backbreaker. After that, the Ultimate Warrior notices that Randy Savage's back was starting to bother him, and my guy focused solely on that, attacking the lower back of him. Now, just as it seemed like the Macho Man was finally getting the upper hand again, here comes Mr. Perfect, and woo! The Nature Boy. So now, let me paint the picture for you. You got the world title on the line. You got Randy Savage and Ultimate Warrior duking it out in the ring with Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect roaming around the ring. But here's the thing. They haven't even chosen their side just yet. They were just rolling. Now, while all this commotion was going on, Savage and Warrior went for about 27 covers apiece. I shit you not. Go watch it. Outside of the ring, Mr. Perfect finally struck as he grabbed the Macho Man's feet, tripping him up. Ultimate Warrior took full advantage of this distraction by attacking Savage afterwards. With everything starting to look fishy, Warrior then sent Savage unknowingly into the referee, knocking him out. Warrior then followed that up by hitting a nice suplex combo, but with old Earl Hebner still hurt, he was slow to make the count, allowing Savage to kick out. Now, old Earl, he had a tough day at the office today, my guy, because immediately after that, then it was the Macho Man shoving the Warrior back into the referee. Then Savage follows that up by connecting on a sweet little pile driver. Then he goes outside of the ring to check on old Earl. Now with both of them distracted, Mr. Perfect gets in the ring to go help the Warrior up. Or so we thought. Turns out, Mr. Perfect held the Warrior up only to have Ric Flair knock him back down. Randy Savage was obviously oblivious to all this as he climbed up and hit his patented elbow drop. But with the ref still moving slow from all those shots he took earlier, this allowed the Warrior to kick out. This then put the Ultimate Warrior in that zone that only he can go to, and nothing Randy Savage did could affect him. Now, just as he was going to go put Savage away, that damn Ric Flair cracked him across the back with a steel chair. Macho Man is slowly starting to catch on to what Flair and Mr. Perfect's tactics are, and just as he was going to go hit another elbow drop onto the Ultimate Warrior, he changes his course and dives at Ric Flair instead. But unfortunately, the Nature Boy was ready because he then struck Savage this time across the back with a steel chair. Now, when he did that, that unfortunately allowed Randy Savage to get counted out by the referee. And with the Ultimate Warrior still in the ring, this gave the Ultimate Warrior the win via countout. But as you know, in WWE, WWF, you can only win the belt if you win via pinfall or submission. So even though he lost, still your WWF champion is Randy Savage. So if I'm going to sit there and grade that, I'm giving it an A. I was very sports entertained. There was great wrestling throughout. It saved both guys from really taking a loss. And it turns out neither guy sold out on each other. So I guess we got a couple of good old boys in there. Okay? So next, we get done with that. And then we go into Undertaker versus Kamala. Okay, there were two good things about this match. Number one, being Undertaker's entrance, which, when are those never dope. And number two, this was the perfect spot to put this snooze fest. Was right after the WWF title and right before the main event. Okay? Now, if I'm going to grade this, I'm going to give it a D-. I don't even want to talk about it. Undertaker looked good, but Kamala, my guy, did not have his best match at all. I mean, to top it all off, it ended in a DQ finish. Like, what? You know what? I'm not even worried about it. You know why? Because it's time for the main event. That's right. You got the Intercontinental title on the line as you got the champ Bret Hart taking on his brother-in-law. Yes, his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog. You talk about an awkward Thanksgiving, okay? Now, this pay-per-view, again, took place in the historic Wembley Stadium in London with over 80,000 of Davey Boy's fellow countrymen there. So, needless to say, this crowd was rocking before this match. Obviously, we get to a slow technical start to the match from both guys. Bret Hart then decided to turn this entire crowd against him because he yanked the Bulldog down by his hair, which is a big no-no. Now, with the entire crowd against him, the Hitman goes for sleeper hold after sleeper hold after sleeper hold. And just as it looked like Davey Boy was going to give, he breaks out and then listen to this moveset he puts on. He hit Bro with back-to-back suplexes, followed by his patented power slam. And then he took him up to the top rope for a beautiful superplex. Now, even with all of that, it wasn't enough as the Hitman kicked out all 4 times. Both guys then go on to hit each other with a double clothesline. And Bret was the first one up to stir, and then he struck with the sharpshooter. But the Bulldog was able to get to the ropes. And then after that, Bret Hart tried to take advantage again by going for a sunset flip. But as he did that, the British Bulldog actually caught him on his back. And then, yes, he was able to get the 1, 2, 3, and new Intercontinental Champion is the British Bulldog, Davey Boy. Rest in peace, my guy. So for that one, I'm going with a B. Like, both these guys definitely know what they're doing between the ropes. And in a rare form, WWE gave us a main event where both guys were great wrestlers and we had no DQs, no run-ins, no shenanigans. Yeah, it was a good match. But hey, y'all know how this goes. We got all the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of a C. That's right, a 77%. Hey, I know there's a couple matches that were really hard to get through during this thing, but man, both of those title matches were off the chain. Like, you had one that was definitely a sports entertainment match, and then you had one that was just a pure wrestling match. So that should have left everybody satisfied. But hey, once again, I want to thank everybody that does tune in. And don't forget to go comment your birthdays, because you know at the end of this, I'm going to scroll through and maybe I'll choose you. With all that being said, man, I hope everybody stays safe out there and have a great day.